Welcome back, fellow Gooners and the wider footballing community. And this is my initial reaction following a night in the Champions League where we have overcome Sporting Lisbon and gone through to the semi-finals for the second year in a row to face Atletico Madrid. Little bit gutted that I missed the Bayern Munich-Real Madrid game because I switched it over once we'd confirmed we'd gone through, and I just managed to get Elise's goal as Bayern Munich knocked out Real Madrid. Madrid had a man sent off apparently in that game. 4-3 that one ended. Our game, no such drama. We drew 0-0 and, I didn't do a preview to this game, but what I would have said in that preview would have been keep a clean sheet and you're through. And that's exactly what we did. None of the omens from the weekend's result against Bournemouth or going out of the FA Cup or losing in the Carabao Cup final carried over into this one. We won the game, we won the tie 1-0 on aggregate after a 0-0 draw at the Emirates. And I have to say, although I'm pretty sure all Gooners will agree with me, it was a nervy match. I have to say that Raya didn't have an awful lot to do. He had to catch a few crosses. That was it. He wasn't really called upon in that game, and that shows just how good our defence is. Now, critics will say, because we're the home side, that drawing 0-0 at home in any game is a bad result. But just like the semi-final against Chelsea in the Carabao Cup, the onus is on them to come at us. The onus is on them to come out and try and get a goal, because if they don't get a goal, they go out. And it never happened. Just like against Chelsea, that never happened, and it didn't happen in this game either. We weren't exactly potent in attack, but we didn't need to be. That's the thing. We have another massive game at the weekend on Sunday against Manchester City away, which is, by all intents and purposes, a title decider. If we lose the game, we don't necessarily lose the title, but the momentum is clearly with Manchester City if we do. If we get anything other than a defeat, it looks like we're going to go on to win the title. So everything now has to go into that game on Sunday. Everything now has to point towards the Etihad. Let's talk about the game, though. Arteta started with 4 centre-backs in the back four. With we have Raya in goal, obviously, and then in front of him was, across the back four from right to left, Mosquera, Saliba, Gabriel and Hincapié. The midfield, pretty predictable to choose Zubimendi, Eze and Rice, with Noni Madueke and Gabriel Martinelli either side of former Sporting striker Victor Gyökeres. The Sporting side that's set up against us, Silva, Quaresma, Diamande, Inacio, Araujo, Catamo, Hjulmand, Trincao, Morita, Pote and Suarez. They don't make it easy for me to pronounce these things, and I'm not very good at pronouncing things. I hope I did all of those justice, but I'm pretty sure I didn't. I'm quite jovial. I'm quite happy. In fact, in that last 15 minutes, I felt like we played brilliantly. I felt we played front foot football. We were in their half for most of it. We looked like we'd controlled it, and it looked like Sporting had run out of ideas, and that's exactly what you want. Against Chelsea in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup, we nicked it at the end and scored, which put a little cherry on top of the icing. Bit different in this game. We didn't kill it off, but we didn't need to. Keep a clean sheet and you're through. We did the hard work in the first leg where we didn't concede and we scored, so 1-0 on aggregate looks very pretty for us. Another clean sheet in the Champions League. I think that's 8 clean sheets now for Raya. Another game where we're undefeated in the Champions League. It's only our second draw. Every other game we've won. All of the group games, obviously. But the 2 draws were away to Leverkusen and home to Sporting. You can't ask for more than that. And before people start to say, Arsenal got the easier draw, we earned the easier draw. We finished top of the Champions League group stages with teams in there such as defending champions PSG, Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, Inter Milan. These are top European sides, not to mention there's 5 other English teams in that group stage. So to finish top, I think it's merited that we get a much, much more favourable draw, and that's what we got. But on the flip side of that, there are no easy games in the Champions League. There isn't. And I've said before, I back us over 2 legs because of our strength. We've got that defensive strength. Not a lot of teams in the competition have shown the defensive strength that we have. Let's take the second leg of the other tie that was played tonight, Bayern Munich against Real Madrid. That game ended 4-3. Was there a defence on the pitch? I'm going to calm down now because I'm a little bit, we're in the semi-finals, mate. We've got 3 games left of the Champions League, potentially. Definitely got 2. We're away to Atletico Madrid, taken back at home. We know we can beat them. We've already done that. But let's err on the side of caution because last season we beat PSG in the group stage, but we went out to them in the semi-finals. So this is potentially another one of those games. But as I said before, I back us over 2 legs. I back us to go over there and defensively put on a performance that will be the catalyst coming back to the Emirates. Was it free-flowing? No. Was it expansive? No. Did we need it to be? No. Again, the onus was on them. The onus was on them to come at us. And if they're not going to come at us, why should we overcommit at the other end? There's no point. There was no need for us to do that. And the fact that we had that control and Raya had basically nothing to do in regards to shot stopping meant we were going to go through whatever happened. There's always that opportunity. There's always that chance. There's always that moment where a lucky deflection or a moment of brilliance could have undone us. But that didn't materialise because the team we were playing against were bereft of ideas. They played against us for 180 minutes plus stoppage time over 2 legs and couldn't score against us. They had a lot of good chances in the first leg, and Raya was our saviour in that first leg. Let's not sugarcoat that. He put on, a masterclass of shot stopping. And that's the reason we're in the semi-final. We're in the semi-finals of the Champions League. So Arteta made a few changes in the second half. I would say they're quite positive changes. He didn't change anything in the back four. He didn't bring anyone on to then play in the back four. We didn't change our formation. It was just straight swaps, fresh legs, give us, something else in that final third if we needed it, and we didn't need it. So we brought on Max Daumann, we brought on Kai Havertz, we brought on Trossard and Gabriel Jesus. Havertz was the first change. He brought him on for Victor Gyökeres. We're going to need Gyökeres fresh for the Manchester City game anyway. Hopefully he gets a few chances in that game, and if Man City are there to try and steamroll us like they did against Chelsea in that second half, there will be space in behind because they will leave gaps at the back. He then brought on Max Daumann for Noni Madueke. Noni Madueke, there's a bit of a doubt for him now against Manchester City. It was a pretty robust challenge on him, which drew a yellow card. Finally, I might add, for their left-back, Araujo. But unfortunately, that was his last contribution in the game, Madueke. And he had to come off. And to be fair, the challenge on Madueke wasn't the one that he was booked for. Unbelievable. He should have been sent off in the first leg. And then he brought on Gabriel Jesus and Trossard at the same time, around 10 minutes to go, for Eze and Gabriel Martinelli. That was the front sort of four, with the number 10, the 2 players either side and the striker completely changed. He did not bring off Declan Rice. He didn't bring off Zubimendi. Those 2 in front of the back four were imperious today. There was no way through for Sporting. Absolutely no way through. And I'll say this again. If anybody is going to criticise our performance today, it's the Champions League quarter-finals. It's a game that only 3 other teams are competing in, and we have gone through. We're in the semi-final. Job done. Fantastic. My mood is a lot better today than it was on the weekend, especially early on Saturday. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. I don't think there's anything else I need to say for now. We've done a good 10 minutes, so I'll leave it there. Remember to like and subscribe. I'm the Rational Gooner. Thank you for tuning in, and please do leave comments if you feel the need to. Apart from that, I'll see you at the weekend, and it's going to be a big one. It's going to be what we used to call a 6-pointer, possibly a title decider. Manchester City versus Arsenal. It'll be 11:30 a.m. my time, so I'll be on the beers quite early. 4:30 kickoff local time at the Etihad. But yeah, really looking forward to it. Feel a lot more confident after tonight's performance, but it's Manchester City. It's a step up. It's possibly a 2 steps up. But let's not forget, Sporting are in a competition Manchester City were knocked out of earlier. So let's not downplay any of this. They were in the quarterfinals on merit, and as I say, there's no easy games in the Champions League. So I'm more than happy to see us go through, having not conceded over 2 legs. It's brilliant. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Have a good rest of your week and look after each other. Take care. Bye-bye.